Well, welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day. So I guess you could all say welcome back to us too. It's been a minute. I know, we apologize. Real life has really been getting in the way of our YouTube aspirations. But I think we're finally getting things sorted out. Hopefully we can get back on somewhat of a routine and keep getting videos out to you guys in a timely manner. So we want to thank all of you for your patience. There's even been a few of you reach out to us to make sure we're still alive. We really appreciate that. It's nice to know that you guys care that much and y'all are following this build so closely. So that's really cool. And thank you also for getting us over the 1,000 subscriber mark. That's awesome. We really appreciate it. Can't thank you enough for that. And this is also a giveaway. Obviously, it's been more than a month since our last video, so we're giving away the $100 Lowe's gift card today. So check the description, see if you're the lucky winner. Next month, we're gonna do a gift card again. I think we'll just go with Home Depot this time, but that's what it's gonna be next month, so look out for that. And to get entered, as usual, just go down in the comments, type subscribed. If you're a subscriber, obviously. You wanna do that first, but without any further ado, we are excited to be finally building this engine. We've been looking forward to this for a long time. We got a mountain of parts back over here. Hopefully we have everything we need to get it done, and it's going to be pretty cool. We're looking for about 500 horse, give or take. So first thing we want to do is get this thing outside and get it clean. We're going to wash it, pressure wash it, all the oil galleys. We got some brushes. We're going to really get after it and get it clean, because the machine shop, they may give it a once over, but all the little chips and grindings and millings and stuff, they're going to be inside of everything. You know, we don't do a lot of machine work around here, but we've done enough to know that that stuff gets everywhere, and that's the last thing you want in your engine, fresh build. So that's first. We got to get it clean, and then we'll blow it dry, you know, as quick as we can, so we don't have any flash rust. It's been sitting with some rust preventative spray on it all this time, so it looks really good still. And then we'll move on to the parts. We'll open all that stuff up, we'll show you what we got, and I'm gonna tell you why we got it, and talk about the build a little bit more once this thing's clean and ready to go. Sketching our paint off. Yeah, this is a good example of why you want to be doing this. There's a lot of bad stuff coming out of there. Nastiness you do not want in there in a fresh motor. And that was pretty gross too. Mm-hmm. Do it. That'll be spick and span. Let's get her back inside, blow it down, dry it off. start putting it together. Get down these cylinder bores so they don't flash rust on us. Well, we ended up going with power-driven diesel for pretty much everything. We really like those guys. They seem to really know what they're doing. They seem like genuine dudes, and their prices are actually pretty competitive too. So it's kind of a win-win, at least in our opinion, you know. So this box here has the door slammer rebuild kit in it. This is our cam, and this is our exhaust manifold. We're gonna open all this stuff up and show it to you. This box should just have pistons, rings, bearings, oil cooler, all that sort of stuff. So let's get in here, see what it looks like. My butter knife will cut this tape. Alright, this is gaskets, I'm sure, yeah. Oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. Gasket seals, the oil squirters, oil cooler core, gasket. Yep, a lot of gaskets. Yeah, and this is just what we expected. Just a whole bunch of little boxes. Bearings, rings. These are our pistons, I'm sure. Definitely want to check this out. Rings. Wrist pin snap rings. And there is our piston. And these are just the standard narrow bowl aluminum Cummins piston. Interstate McBee. Do they like it? Especially at this power level. It's affordable. So that's what we went with. You know, there's obviously a multitude of options on pistons, but you know, I think it's highly dependent on what kind of horsepower you're looking for. So you could spend a fortune if you wanted to. We just don't think it's necessary on this. It's not really going to get you anything besides empty wallet.
Yep.
But we went with the Interstate McBee brand on just about everything because it's so much more affordable than OEM Cummins stuff. I believe there was one or two things that's not Interstate McBee. I don't remember what it was though. We'll probably find out. We've got some OptiTorque studs. These are pretty affordable option for studs. I'm not sure what this is. Oh, that's bearings. Interstate McBee set of main bearings. This is your thrust. This is the injectors. We went with the power-driven diesel power jet injectors. They're a relatively new thing that they offer, and they're supposed to run cleaner at higher horsepower. You know, when you're running higher than stock horsepower, you need a bigger than stock injector, and when your injector gets bigger, it's just not going to run as clean anywhere but basically wide open throttle. You know, when you're at max horsepower, you actually using all that fuel. So these power jet injectors are supposed to kind of solve that problem and just run cleaner throughout the range. And I think they probably help with EGT control and economy as well, get you a little better mileage, because you won't be wasting any of that fuel at, you know, mid throttle or whatever. So it's not a lot to look at here. Those holes are microscopic, but yeah, you can't really see anything. But I think they went back to 5 holes instead of 7. I don't know exactly what makes them do what they do, but you can see they even got it laser etched in there. Got the power driven power jet. So these should be pretty cool. Can't wait to see how they run. And these are stage 1s. Again, pretty affordable option, honestly. Comes with the install kit. It's got all your copper washers and stuff in there. Tappet cover bolts. We did go with the billet tappet cover. That's this guy right here. We'll get it out and take a look at it. Because everybody that's messed with these old things knows that that factory tappet cover is prone to leaks. And then, you know, if you don't really know what you're doing when you put it back together, it's liable to leak immediately. Oh, that's a pretty nice piece right there.
Mm-hmm. Pretty swanky.
Mm-hmm. Looks like it's anodized black. It's sharp. Looks good. So not only will it look good, it will hopefully, you know, basically eliminate this thing ever leaking. That's the dream. And I think it was like, you know, 300 bucks or so. So it's not cheap, but it's not bad for insurance against oil leaks, in my opinion, because oil leaks suck.
Yeah, if you value your time trying to fix oil leaks, well worth the money.
Yeah, definitely. All right. There's nothing particularly fun in there, I'd say. Except the injectors, they're pretty cool. So this should be our cam. Now this thing's packaged up pretty good too.
Mm-hmm, sure is.
So this cam is Power Driven's budget tow cam. I'm not sure. I don't think they actually grind cams at Power Driven. I could be mistaken. They probably have somebody else grind them. But what they said is this is actually a Cummins grind, but it's It's what they would have put in a piece of equipment.
Yeah, industrial application.
Yeah, industrial application. So like generator sets, pumps, equipment that had a 12 valve Cummins in it would have had this cam in it. So that's not to say that this is Cummins cam. It's aftermarket cam, just ground to match. But what they say is this, what's different about it is that those applications didn't have any emission standards. It's the only reason that this would be different than what's in a truck. But it's supposed to help you with EGTs and possibly economy too. Well, it's hard to rationalize, but that's just the way it was explained to me. So that's what we went with. Again, another economical option at this power level. You know, you get over 500, you may want to start looking at a Hamilton or Colt cam with, you know, a different load profile for more lift and all that stuff. But they said this is plenty good enough for what we want to do, so that's what we chose. This, I believe, is going to be the exhaust manifold. So this is a 3-piece manifold, and I'm sure a lot of you already know why, but for those of you who don't, these manifolds have a tendency to shrink. So the factory manifold was just 1 piece, and as they heat cycle, they get hot and cool, you know, the metal shrinks and it'll start breaking the ears off of your head where this thing bolts on. So they make them in 3 pieces. This is just a real tight slip fit or press fit or whatever. So it can just move, and you're not talking about a whole lot, but it's just enough to keep from breaking off your bolts. See, you got a connection there and another one there. Other than that, it's not some super high performance unit or anything like that. Just for longevity. I think this is Power Driven's manifold too. All right, so this is Power Driven's billet fuel filter mount. So this is one of those parts that's not strictly necessary, but it's cool. It's not terribly expensive either, so this is just mounting hardware. Yeah, so there's the fuel filter mounting plate. So your filter screws in down here. This is where it mounts, and it just kind of hangs off. So it's a pretty cool piece. Go good with our billet tappet cover.
Yep. Maybe there's all kinds of goodies in there.
Yeah, so this is the last box. So let's see. We're still looking for a lift pump. And I feel like there's a couple other odds and ends that I can't think of right now. I've been thinking this was a turbo. So let's find out.
Yeah, I feel like you're right.
Yeah, and I don't think there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff in here either. It's probably just a turbo. Yep, it's a turbo. Oh, there is some other stuff. There's a cat fuel filter. That goes with that billet filter plate. This is what we really want to see right here. Look at that dude.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Man, that is nice. All right. Aggressor 6064 is what we went with. Of course, it's got their, I assume it's ceramic coating. Could be paint. Kind of sparkly. Yeah, that is a brand new turbo. Very nice. And there's obviously 100 different options for turbos that you can go with. You know, a lot of people are making aftermarket turbos. And this Aggressor 6064 is basically a modified version of your stock turbo, your HX35. So that's what we chose, and I think it's a good choice, honestly. Let us know if y'all think we could have done something different, but I like it.
Me too.
All right, I think there's a couple more things in here, so let's see what it is. I think this is turbo flange bolts. Yep. Yeah, it's turbo flange bolts and stuff. Let's see. T3 turbo flange gasket. And something else. So yeah, it's the flange gasket, and there's a couple of oil feed line gaskets in there too. Air freshener? Turbo air freshener? I don't smell anything. And I think that's a little turbo keychain flashlight. Oh, I gotta open this up now. That's crazy. That little turbo turns and it lights up. Hopefully y'all can see that little compressor wheel turning in there. That's crazy. Yeah, so that's a nice touch. Power driven. Yeah. Well, now we got to see what this smells like.
We're up to an air freshener, a mini turbo, and a koozie.
Yeah, air freshener. This has got to smell like burnt oil or diesel
fumes,
something. Nope. It smells like Old Spice. Mm-hmm. No, it's not bad. All right. Let's go back on the hunt for the lift pump. Oh, this stuff kind of stuck together. It's sitting in there so long. There we go. All right, there she is. And this is a pretty cool little unit. So this hot rod lift pump is just, it's just what it's called. It's a hot rodded Cummins lift pump. So, visually it doesn't look any different. They change up the internals to get more flow out of it. And this thing is good for up to 500 horsepower. Maybe a little bit more. That's kind of, debatable by some folks, but I think Power Driven advertises it up to 500 horsepower. And this just alleviates the need to have to put in a fast pump or air dog. And it just adds complexity to your fuel system. It's another electrical circuit and another failure point. Whereas this is mechanical. This runs on the camshaft, and the cam lobe comes around and just pumps it. So as long as none of this stuff goes bad, it's nothing can happen to it. And these are known to last, basically forever. So that's why we went with that. In my opinion, it's a good reason to stay under 500 horsepower. So if you're drag racing, then that kind of goes out the window. But
yeah,
you know,
that's.
And in here we got some fittings and a little piece of hose to make up to feed it, or probably to go to the pump. Here's some little studs to mount it. Not really much to see, they're just little studs. And a hose clamp. And then looks like a mounting flange and gaskets. Pretty basic. I think that's going to be it. No, that's not it. Filter plumbing kit. Yeah, so I guess this is going to be more fittings and stuff that goes with that billet fuel filter plate. Yeah.
Yep. I was wondering where those were.
Yeah, so these are all just push lock, which are pretty easy to work with. You just shove the line on there and that's that. We've got a couple 90s, a 45 couplings. This is all just plumbing stuff for the, you know, the fuel pump to the lift pump to the injection pump and fuel filter. So pretty handy to have all that already set up. We don't have to find fittings and all that stuff. Yeah, so that's it. Has everything we need. Hopefully get this engine put together and sealed up. So I think it's time to get started.
Yep. Time to build an engine.
Yep. All right. So we measured all of these main journals back when we got this thing from the machine shop. And all the main journals and cam journals were within Cummins spec, stock spec, I guess. You know, it hadn't been honed out too much. So what we're going to do anyway is we're going to brake clean the bottom and the caps, or the top and the caps, get them cleaned up. We're going to put bearings in it, retorque the caps, and we're going to check our clearance with the bore gauge before we put the crank in. And then we'll put the crank in, and I think Bub wants to use plastic gauge anyway for a sanity check, which I kind of like that idea. So we'll use some plastic gauge, we'll retorque the mains again, and we'll pull them off and check the plastic gauge to make sure we aren't idiots. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to clean all this stuff, put our bearings in, torque the caps. That's 3.5 thousandths.
Okay.
3/1000. Three and a half. Three and a half. 3.6. 3.6. Okay, so we went through with the bore gauge and we checked all of these bearing journals, and we got roughly 3.5 thousandths clearance. So it looks like we're good to move forward with dropping this crank in. So I guess we're going to drop it in dry. We'll retorque it with the plastic gauge, take it off so we get a visual verification that everything we're doing is actually measuring up. What is it? What's happening here?
Oh, just need a little finessing.
Man, that thing seems tight. That bearing. Seems really tight.
Oh my God.
All right, first one down. Let's see what we got. Here's our little gauge. I'm certain you can't read it because we can barely read it. The whitest red line is 2 thousandths. The white's 3 thousandths, and then it's 4, 5, and 6. 6 thousandths is the thinnest red line. So you can barely even see the plastic gauge in the camera. So it's a little skinnier than the 3 thousandths.
Thicker than the, wider than the 4.
Just barely wider than the 4. Which is almost exactly what we measured. There's a little bit of discrepancy from end to end. Like the center part looks a little narrower than the sides. So it gets a little tighter back here. So it's a shade under 3 thousandths clearance right back here against the counterweight, which is still in spec according to Power Driven. All right, next one looks pretty much the same. Yeah, that's measuring right at, oh, that's metric.
That's right at 3/1000ths in the center. Maybe a little bit tighter out here. It's pretty close to 3/1000ths. And here, same thing. Shade under 3/1000ths on this side over here. The rest of it's about 3. Yeah, that one looks about the same. Yep. There it is. Yep. Same again. So this is showing more or less 3/1000ths across the board. What the bore gauge was saying was averaging 3.5. Yep. Right at 3/1000ths. Which I guess, to be fair, 5/10,000ths of an inch isn't much. And the same. Yeah, just a shade looser, dead center, but again, we're talking about imperceptible measurements of difference. So, looks pretty good to me.
Yep, looks dang good. And some of you say, why dummies are y'all doing this after you've already measured? Well, never hurts to triple check.
Measure twice, cut once.
Right, make sure we're good. That way there's no doubt later.
Yeah, it didn't cost us anything but about a quarter's worth of plastic gauge.
And a rotator cuff rebuild.
Ah, you're tough, you can handle it. All right, now we'll just clean this plastic off here. We'll pull the crank, lube it up with some assembly lube, and then torque it down for the last time. What the heck? I don't think that's supposed to happen. It finally feels like we're doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Seems too tight. Seems like it's too tight.
We ain't even went to 130 yet.
Oh, seems tight to me. Yeah, it shouldn't be that hard.
don't know. We triple checked our clearances.
I don't know why it's like that, but it shouldn't be like that. Crank may be bent.
The crankshaft must rotate freely.
Yeah, I read that. What does it say to do if it don't?
Throw it away and get another one.
Well, guys, not sure what to say at this point. Looks like our crank is bent. We just got the main caps all torqued back down, and it's tough. Way too hard to turn. Might be getting a little looser right there, but it shouldn't be that hard to turn. So we already know we have the clearance. So the only explanation for it being that hard to turn is that the crank is bent. So we're gonna pull the caps back off of it and turn it. We had never turned it because it was dry, but now it's got lube on it. We'll turn it, see if we can see anything with our eye that, you know, if it's moving here or there, but pretty sure this crank is bent. We're gonna have to get a crank. Yeah. If it ain't one thing, it's another.
Yep. May have to get new main bolts. All this torquing and untorquing.
We have to get a new socket too. It's gonna be wore out. Well, let's see if we can get an idea of how bad this thing is bent.
Or if it's bent at all.
Or if it's bent at all. If we can sneak it in here. $1,000. So going from about 1,000 to negative maybe a half if you're being generous. That's showing only a 1.5 thousandths. Oh, that suggests our problem is something else.
Mm-hmm.
I think the next culprit we probably need to check into is that thrust bearing, since it rolled it out.
So what we're doing now is we cleaned everything back up, put the crank back in, and we're going to torque these caps down, and we're going to spin it every time until we find out where we're getting tight. So this is the first torque sequence, 44 pounds. Mm-hmm. And we're just going to spin it every cap and just find out when exactly it's getting tight. Because like we've gone over multiple times, we've double checked our clearance on all the main journals. We know we have room. We checked the straightness of the crank. We know it's not bent. So something else going on, possibly with these bearings. That's what we're trying to figure out. We're just going to keep going and torquing them and spin it until it gets hard to move, and then hopefully that will tell us exactly what we need to know. Yeah, that's good. That's all of them?
Thank God it wasn't a crank.
Well, I think we've gotten to the bottom of this. Finally, it looks like our issue is with this thrust bearing, oddly enough. So this is the one that was getting tight on us. So we pulled it out and we started miking across the thrust surfaces, and we're getting about 10 thousandths bigger in the throat here than we are on the ends. So we're gonna get some new bearings, some Molly bearings, or maybe look into some Cummins bearings, I don't know what, but it ain't gonna be these. And we'll try to get this thing put together next week, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad. Thought we were finally gonna start making some serious headway again, and then of course, roadblock at every turn.
Yep.
But what can we do? It's all part of the process, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Try to save a buck, cost you 10 steps back.
Yeah, but you know, a bad bearing is definitely better than a bad crank.
Yeah, that's for sure. We thought it was a crank at first. $1,000 bill to replace a crank, that's no good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely could have been a lot worse. So happy about that.
Yep.
But anyway, so it's about as far as we can go with this at the moment, unfortunately. We're gonna get this bearing thing sorted out, get some new bearings on the way. Hopefully have them here for next weekend. We can start making some progress, and hopefully we'll get some serious work done, get this thing buttoned up. But
Yep.
that's gonna do it for now. We appreciate y'all watching. Once again, we apologize for the long time off, but we'll get back to it. Try and keep y'all entertained if we can. So. But anyway, don't forget, check the description, see if you're the winner of the giveaway.
Yep.
And also, like Matt said earlier, thanks to all y'all subscribers, getting us over that 1,000 subscriber mark. We really appreciate it. We'll try and start knocking this stuff out and bringing y'all more content. So
Yeah.
we appreciate y'all watching, and we'll catch you next week, hopefully.